I'm Megan Jayawardena. Welcome to Fittest App TV. We will have 30 minutes working through our shoulders, our neck, and our upper back. We'll be stretching the body and generally feeling great. So let's warm up the spine first, coming up and over, side to side. Next one, we will hold and really lengthen the elbow, bring the shoulder away from the ear. When we're stretching, up and over to the other side. We lengthen if your shoulder or your bicep are near your ear, wiggle them away. Come on up, we'll circle the elbows twice. At each direction there, circle through the wrists twice. And then we're bringing our wrists together. We're bringing our hands towards our face as if we were thinking about putting our face between our palms, right there. But we change our mind and we roll through the wrists and come on through the other way. So we're rolling around to the front of the wrists, touching each other there. Come towards the face and then roll through the wrists again. A few in that direction. And then we'll go in the other direction. Now we're bringing the fingertips down. The fingertips come towards the face. We're rolling through the backs of the hands and the wrists, opening the palms forward. Keep on going. Your own rolling movement, hands, wrists touch each other as everything rolls around there. Last two. And one. We're coming up. We'll take the arms out, palms are up, and then rotate so the palms are down. And if your arms are bent anywhere, lengthen. Lengthen through the elbows, lengthen the fingertips out, and bring the shoulders away from the ears and down. Sitting up nice and tall, I check my seat belts. Lower abs, pelvic floor, we're lifting them up. We're getting everything really warm in the shoulders before we stretch. Keep reaching out, 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 out. One moment longer. Then we'll do a typical shoulder stretch that you might find in lots of exercise groups. Lots of types of exercise, the deltoid stretch. We're bringing the long arm in front of the body, we're guiding it in. Keep the shoulder away from the ear. And this arm that you're hugging and guiding in, your right arm, lengthen it. Lengthen the fingertips a little bit away. We'll hold it here for a moment. Movement can help us relax into the stretches, so seatbelts on. And we're taking a little bit of a side-to-side motion here through the obliques, through the waist. And last one, your right elbow is guiding the way out. Right fingertips to the shoulder here. 2 circles back. Slow motion. 1. Really big circles. 2. And then the right fingertips are guiding up. And we're bringing this hand behind the head at the upper back there. Elbow is reaching for the ceiling. We're really opening out from the hip bone up through the rib cage, up through the shoulder, the underarm. If you don't feel anything, lift the heart up a little more and the face up. The fronts of our chests here are open, not hunching forward anywhere. Holding it here for a moment. We're about to add movement, so belly button in. We're sliding the rib cage side to side. Last one, and then we're reaching out, up and over. We're looking inside our elbow here. And then come on out. We'll go to the other side, into the deltoid stretch that you might do in a lot of different sports. Shoulder down, guiding the straight arm in close to the body. Keep checking, shoulder away from the ear. This long arm in front of the body, we're lengthening. Fingertips are really lengthening through there. Then belly button in and add some movement side to side. Keep stretching through the shoulder there. From here, the left elbow leads the way, left fingertips find the shoulder, and we're circling the elbow back. Really big slow motion circles back. Then the left fingertips are reaching up. We're bending at the elbow. We take this left hand to our upper back or the back of our neck there. And if you're curled anywhere, come on up. Raising the heart up, the chest. That elbow is pointing up, maybe even a little bit back. Pressing there. If you're tempted to curl, come on up. You've got it. Keep reaching, lengthening there through the spine, shoulders down. Seatbelts on, we'll have a rock here. And then we'll release that arm, coming up and over, looking into your elbow there, the inside of your elbow. For a moment, we'll come on down, fingertips on the mat. We'll swap ankles, other ankle in front. Sitting up out of the hips, we're taking the face to the right, to the front, to the left, to the front. Chin down for a moment. Chin to the middle. This time, face to the right. The chin leads the way around the front of the body. Face to the left. The chin leads the way around the front of the body. And then here we are, back in the front. We're going to reach on up, find our elbow points, and relax there, working through the waist, the ribs, and the shoulders. Wiggle your shoulders away from your ears. Your arms might come in front of your forehead a little bit. Enjoy that moment there. And then we're going to release. We'll bring our knees up and we'll come sitting side saddle here. Feet are on the mats. Long reach. Keep on reaching up. Walk your fingertips and toes away from each other. Knees are still bent, abs in. And you're reaching back a little bit before you come up. Using strength through your abs, you're reaching back, opening the shoulders that little bit more. You can do this just like this, reaching into the air. Or if you have a wall near you or any kind of furniture near you, come away from it a little bit and see if you're reaching back with your pointer fingers towards the wall. Open back and then come up. That can feel really wonderful through the front of the chest and the shoulders. Keep on going, your own pace. Great abs workout as well as we go back and up. That's 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring the fingertips on down and we'll come side saddle again. Opening the knees and feet apart, hands finding each other. Elbows come down and they're pushing the thighs apart at the same time as your thighs are pushing your elbows in. This is called the spider. It's an isometric stretch. We're holding it for a moment here. Firing up the shoulders a bit and the hips. And then we'll relax from the spider into the beetle. Hands come down to the mat inside your feet and we curl forward, making a beetle shell out of our back. Holding it here. Wiggle into it. Find your comfortable beetle. From here, we're going to come on up, bring the knees and feet together, and then we're sitting on our heels and our feet. Let those fronts of the feet stretch through the mat, fronts of the ankles are stretching as well. From here, we take our hands together, thumb to the sternum, middle fingers under the chin, and we're guiding the elbows up. The elbows are guiding the hands, guiding the chin. Go to where you're comfortable, shoulders away from the ears. Lengthening through the front of your neck. Then come on down. Fingertips are reaching behind us. You could come here with the hands apart, or you could clasp the hands together. Breathe in, breathe out. Pressing the arms away from us, really opening out the chest and shoulders there. Abs in, and we're bowing forward. As we bow forward, the arms and hands are reaching for the ceiling. You could be here, floating above your thighs, or you could keep on going. Maybe your forehead comes to the mat and you're here. And then you can work through the joints a little bit further, stretching the arms. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll come on up the way we came. Release the fingertips. Come on forward. From here, we're going to come closer to the wall. If you have one, we're doing a thread the needle stretch with the wall. If you don't have one, you don't have to. You can just put your arm into the air. We're going to thread the needle. The back arm reaches up. So without a wall, it's like this. I'm reaching up into the air, turning, looking at my fingertips, working the shoulder that little bit more open. If you have a wall near you, go for it on the side of the wall. You're reaching up, and then you can start guiding your underarm closer to the wall. You're in the beginning of the thread the needle stretch, reaching up, holding it here. Maybe that little bit closer to the wall. And then we're going to breathe in, breathe out, and we'll go into thread the needle. You're threading the arm through the gap between the other arm and your body. You're coming on down. You're resting on that shoulder. The head is turned on the side, palm up and relaxed on the floor. If you'd like to extend the other arm overhead and now you're peeking out under the other shoulder, go for it. We'll stay here for a moment. Just check, is this front hand popping up or stuck anywhere? Lower it down so the palm is up to the ceiling. The other palm is down. You can add to it by wiggling a little bit just to find that perfect position that feels lovely through your shoulders, also your hips. We're going to breathe in, breathe out. We'll bring both fingertips up, and then we're here. We'll aim to do our puppy first. You're breathing in, breathing out. You're guiding your heart, your sternum, towards the mat, coming down on your elbows if you need to. Keep the hips up in the air. Keep guiding the sternum down. Maybe your chin comes to the mat, maybe your heart comes to the mat. Maybe it's your forehead, but keep lengthening the fingertips and the arms and work into that shoulder stretch, hips, as well as the neck. Bit of the chest there too. Now we'll breathe in, breathe out. We'll guide the fingertips back up, and we'll move so that we can go to the other side. Remember, if you don't have a wall, you're doing the thread the needle stretch. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're breathing in and holding. We're reaching up, using strength to open up the shoulder there, reaching in the air. If you do have a wall, come a little closer to it and reach up, and then you're pressing your underarm, your shoulder towards the wall. Turn and look at the fingertips. Check all your checks of your seatbelts. And have a stretch here. Keep holding it. If your hand starts to crumple up a little bit, lengthen through the palm. Really keep everything long and stretching. Then come away from the wall if you need to. We'll go into the thread the needle part. We'll breathe in. We'll breathe out. We'll thread the needle with the arm. First onto the forearm, then onto the shoulder. Come on down. Check this front hand is relaxed on the floor, palm up. Reach the other arm straight overhead on the mat, palm down. Wiggle into it and find a great stretch for your shoulder. You're lying on the side of your head and your shoulder peeking out under the arm. Nice one. We're going to relax here for a little while. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll go back the way we came. The arms come in again. Hands on the mat, and we're reaching up to finish the stretch. Stretching up. Come on down, and now our feet and knees are together, hips are coming to the heels. Come down on the elbows, and we're stretching through the child's pose for a moment, reaching long. Heart towards the mat, then the forehead. Holding it here. Rock a little side to side. And then we'll take one arm and the other one next to us, letting the shoulders relax down towards the knees. Holding it here for a moment. You can have a little rock through the hips as well. Keep holding it here. Then breathing in, breathing out. Our hands come onto the mat, elbows onto the mat, and we're lowering ourselves down, all the way down. We're bringing our hands at our lower back together, legs are glued together on the mat. And we're going to bring our elbows up, opening the elbows up so your arms are like little wings behind you. Keep on opening a little bit there. If you'd like more, breathe in, breathe out, raise the head, neck and shoulders a little bit. Squeeze the glutes, keep the feet glued to the floor. Keep lifting those elbows up back behind you. Stretching out the chest. Might even be stretching the wrists. Sometimes people feel this in their arms. We'll lower on down. Same again, or if you'd like more, clasp the hands behind you, breathe in, breathe out, float the head, neck, and shoulders up, float the hands and arms up behind you. Hold it here for a moment. I like to keep my neck neutral, looking at the mat, but if you're familiar with doing movements like this and it's safe for you, you can breathe in, breathe out, and rise up a little bit more, looking forward. But that wouldn't be for any neck injuries. Keep it here. Neutral for neck injuries. And we'll lower on down, unhook the hands, and we're going to meet on our backs. We're coming around onto the backs. Check, feet are on the floor, spine is into the mat. Tilt the hips a few times there to get comfy. And from here, we're raising the fingertips up towards the ceiling, raising a shoulder and lowering, raise the other shoulder and lower. Gentle movements here. Movements at the joints help us to stretch better as well. Breathing out to lift, in to lower. Last two. Last one. Then we're clasping our hands together here. Tilt the pelvic area so that you've got your seatbelts on, abs are on, and you're allowing your arms to float overhead onto the floor. Fingertips are clasped. Then we're opening the hands out, palms up to the ceiling. And then we're dragging the elbows down the sides of our body. Hands come next to us. And we go again. Hands clasped overhead. Open towards the floor. Try to get the thumbs to touch the floor. Rotate so that the palms are facing the ceiling. Hold the stretch there. Possibly reach a little further. Then we drag the elbows down the floor next to our body. Last one, we're coming on up. Slow motion circle as the hands are clasped. Thumbs touch the floor. Open the palms to the ceiling. Drag the elbows down to the sides of the body as a stretch. And then come on up to here. From here, we're working through the shoulders, a little bit of movement, making a number 8 over us. With the hands. Last one, we're nice and warm now. We're bringing the knees in, thighs towards the body for a big hug. We're going to open the arms out to the sides. One of mine is a little bit too close to the wall there, but you got the idea. Arms are out like the letter T. Knees come up near the body, and then they come up and over. You could hold your knees with your hand, or have your hand out, palm up, and let your knees rest on your bicep there. Let the toes come down. Hold the stretch here. Really opening up the shoulder there. Keep the back towards the floor. Look over that back arm if you'd like. We're going to relax here. Then we'll breathe in, breathe out. We'll guide the thighs back up to over the rib cage. Another hug, little rock, and then we're going to the other side. So we're taking the arms out like the letter T, and we're guiding the knees up and over. Keep them close to your shoulders. Hips come up off the mat, the knees are on the floor. You can support with the other hand. Come on over, and then we're opening out this front shoulder there. See if the knees will be relaxing on that back bicep, like a little pillow for your knees. Opening out the shoulder. If it's popping up at all, let the arm relax. Palm up to the ceiling and let it all relax down. Holding it here. How are we feeling? Hopefully good. Then we'll breathe in. Breathe out. We'll guide the knees back in. Another big hug here and a little rock. We're going to work out tension in our hips a little bit as well. Sometimes hip tension can travel up and give us a bit of shoulder tension as well. So let's work through some of that tension there. We're going to keep hugging one thigh in, lengthen the other leg onto the mat, holding it here. Hold the shin with the opposite arm, and then let the arm reach up and over. Palm up to the ceiling, and really push the heel away, push the fingertips away. Big stretch through the whole body. You can add the other heel as well. Actively hugging in and reaching the fingertips out. Good. We're going to swap. We'll come on in for the hug. Nice big hug and wiggle. Then we'll keep holding this thigh into the rib cage. Let the other leg lengthen onto the floor. Hold it there for a moment for the hip and lower back. When you're ready, keep the opposite hand hugging the thigh in, hugging on the shin there. The other arm reaches up and then back. Hopefully touching the floor behind us. If it's not yet, let it float in the air. Gravity will help. Back of the hand touches the floor. Palm up to the ceiling. Push through the heels and reach through the fingertips. Big stretch there. Keep hugging on in. And then we'll come out of that one, hugging both knees back in. Really nice big hug here. Little rock. Lengthen the legs overhead. Have a quick pike stretch here. Pushing the heels away, then the toes. Heels, then toes. Getting rid of tension in the hips. Hamstrings. We breathe in. Breathe out. Extra hug. And then we'll bend both knees, bringing one foot down, other foot down. We'll come over onto our sides so we can push ourselves up, all the way up. We'll meet sitting in the tailor position again here, right ankle crossed over the left. We're going to work on a stretch called the broken wing. So I'm going to show this to you from the back. You're sitting in your tailor position, and you're taking your fingertips towards each other. Middle fingers touch. Then see if the other fingers will touch each other. Sitting up nice and tall. Will the palms touch each other? Once the palms are touching, will the fingertips walk their way up your back? Little fingers are leading the way up your back. Wiggle on up. Find your stretch. Take your elbows down and back. Take the shoulders down and back. We're going to hold it here for a moment. Flatten the palms towards each other. Holding it here. If you'd like to wiggle a little bit side to side, go for it. Just keep inching those fingertips up your back for that lovely broken wing stretch there. Keep holding for a moment. And then we'll wiggle the arms on down, out of that one. Come on out and shake that one out. Nice little shake for those muscles. And then we're reaching up, all the way up, shoulders down. You've got a letter V, palms forward here. Now you're guiding your backs of your hands up and then back, really opening out. If you have a wall behind you, you could reach and touch the wall. If not, just hold them up and back. And then start pressing, actively pressing up, opening up the underarm here. It might be in your ribs and your waist as well. Find a position that you're happy to hold, possibly fingertips touching the wall behind you, holding it there. Then we're breathing in, breathing out, and we're tilting from the waist, bringing the arms forward, maybe bending the elbows, stretching here. Hook the elbows under the shins, relaxing here for a moment. We'll breathe in and out. We'll come on up and we'll swap ankles. We'll go to the other side. Bringing up the arms like a really wide letter V, shoulders down. If you're up like this, try to wiggle them down. Lengthen out the arms and fingertips. Palms are facing forward. And then you're hinging back through the shoulders there. Opening back. Might not look like much, but you should be feeling it across the front of your chest and shoulders. Maybe the rib cage as well. If you have a wall, tilt back, fingertips on the wall. See how that feels. Otherwise, hold in the air there. And then we'll come up, we'll breathe in, breathe out. Arms are floating down and forward. Here. Bending at the elbows, come all the way down, holding it here. Hooking the elbows under the shins. Relaxing here, shoulders away from the ears. Really opening out there through the shoulders, chest, hips. They're all connected. Enjoy this deep stretch here. And we're coming on up, all the way up, shoulders up, back and down. Right fingertips are up. We're going for the tricep stretch that you might do in a lot of exercise classes. Aim the elbow up, aim to open out the chest, keeping the face up. Ribs are lifted up away from the hips, could support the triceps. Or you could take your left arm behind you, wrapping it around your lower back. Your fingertips are there by your waist. Sit up that little bit more. Find the left shoulder there and open it back. Really opening up the shoulders. Holding it here for a moment. Belly button in, we'll start a swaying motion, side to side. And then we'll open the arms back out. And we'll go to the other side, left arm up, really reaching long before we bend at the elbow and we come into the tricep stretch. Support the triceps here. That way you know that you're lifted up, rib cage is lifted out of the hips there, long spine. You're not tempted to be forward anywhere, you're up, allowing an open chest, open face. If you'd like to add, bring the right arm wrapped around you, fingertips by the waist. Go into it a little further and then check that you're still lifted. Everything is lifted and stretching, holding it here. Open that right shoulder back that little bit more. You've got it. Seatbelts on, but that means belly button in. Abs strong while we add this sway. Last 2 and 1, and then we're releasing the arms, pushing the walls away for a moment before we come on in for a really big hug. Right arm on top, finding the shoulders, walk the fingertips back a little bit, sitting up really long spine before we lower the chin down for a moment here. We bring the face back up, we open the arms out, and we'll go to the other side. Left arm on top, in for your hug of the shoulders, walk the fingertips a little more. Sit up super tall before we hug deeply and bring the chin down. We're coming on up and we're taking our fingertips to our temples and the jaw. Elbows are up and open here. Open out, abs in, and then we're circling through the waist, through the rib cage. We're circling the face, the hands, the elbows around a few times. Keep the elbows up though, don't let them sink down. And then we go the other way. Belly button in, you can really feel it. You're stretching through the ribs, shoulders, feeling nice through that upper body there. And one. Sitting on up, fingertips down. They're coming around in front, crossing the arms, opening up overhead. Open, open through the ribs first. Keep on going. Cross the other wrist in front. Open up. Keep on going. You're swooping forward. You're finding your elbows, swooping up over the head for a big stretch. Open out. And again, swoop forward. Find the elbows. Come on up. Open out. One more each side. A little bit bigger. A little more exaggerated through all of the movements. And then we'll change ankles again. So we're working evenly through our hips there. Right ear to right shoulder. We're coming up for a cradle here. Holding it there. A little bit of a rock and cradle. We'll go to the other side. We're coming up. Left ear to left shoulder. Cradle here. Can hold or add a little bit of a rock. Belly button in for your rock and cradle there. And we're opening out. Hands are clasping in front, belly button in. You're raising the arms all the way up. Once you're here, check. Are your biceps touching your ears? If so, wiggle them down and away from the ears. Wiggle the shoulders down. Slight bend at the elbows. You can see your hands. Then you're breathing in, breathing out, lifting the heart and the chest, reaching the arms up for a moment there. Shoulders pressing down at the same time as arms lengthening. Then we'll bring this circle of our arms in front of us, breathing in. Hands out behind us, lengthen the arms, abs in, really open, open, open there at the back. Hold for a moment, opening the hands up, palms up. Open through the shoulders here. And the chest, feeling great. Fingertips down. We rotate the shoulders towards the back wall and down. Really feeling that stretch right in there. The front of the shoulder, across the chest. Don't really feel it. Use the elbows and the fingertips to help press the arms back and the rib cage up, face up. Everything's opening. Come on in. We'll go back to where we started, up and over here. Thank you so much for joining me.